Hello everyone, I'm Janine Torrigo Sabaton from BSAIS 4 Black 2. My topic is all about cloud computing in chapter 3 together with Miss Jessamine Ibanez. So my part is about cloud computing. Cloud computing is a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to share pool of configurable computing resources like networks, service, storage, applications, and services that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. In simply, cloud computing is the delivery of computing services, including the servers, storage, the database, networking, software, analytics, and intelligence over the internet. So, to offer a faster innovations, flexible resources, and economies of scale. The next is the cloud enabling technologies. First is the grid computing. It's a form of distributed computing that enables the resources of numerous heterogeneous computers in a network to work together on a single task at the same time. Grid computing enables parallel computing and is best for large workloads. So the second is the utility computing. It's a service provisioning model in which a server makes computing resources available to customers as required and charges them based on storage. So this is analogous to other utility service such as electricity where charges are based on the consumption. The third one is the virtualization. It's a technique that abstracts the physical characteristic of IT resources from resources to users. It enables the resources to be viewed and managed as a pool and lets users create virtual resources from the pool. Virtualization also provides better flexibility for provisioning of IT resources compared to provisioning in a non virtualized environment. It helps optimize resource utilizations and delivering resources more efficiently. The fourth one is the service oriented architecture or the SUA. Provide a set of service that can communicate with each other. These service work together to perform some activity or simply pass data among service. Characteristics of cloud computing. A computing infrastructures used for cloud services must have certain capabilities or the characteristics. So we have the five essential characteristics. The first one is the on-demand self-service. It is a consumer can unilaterally provision computing capabilities such as the server time and the network storage as needed automatically without requiring human interaction with each service provider. So, a cloud service provider publishes a service catalog which contains informations about all cloud services available to a customer. So the service catalog includes informations about service attributes, prices, and request process. Consumer view the service catalog via web-based user interface and use it to request for a service. Consumers can either leverage the ready-to-use service or change a few service parameters to customize the service. The next is the broad network access. So it is a capabilities are available over the network and access through standard mechanism that promote use by heterogeneous thin or thick client platform. For example, is mobiles, tablets, laptops, and workstation. The third one is the resource pooling. The provider of these characteristics are pooled to serve multiple consumers using a multi-tenant model with different physical and virtual resources, dynamically accessed and reassigned according to consumer demand. There is a sense of location independence in that the customer generally has no control or knowledge over the exact locations of the provided resources, but may be able to specify locations at a higher level of abstraction. For example, is the country, the state, or the data center. The other examples also of resources including the storage, the processing, memory, and the network bandwidth. The fourth one is the rapid elasticity. The consumer can leverage rapid elasticity of a cloud when they have fluctuations in their IT resources requirement. For example, an organization might require double the number of web and application servers for a specific duration to accomplish a specific task. For the remaining period, they might want to release idle server resources to cut down the expenses. The cloud enables consumers to grow and shrink the demand for resource dynamically. The last characteristic of a cloud computing is a measured service. When we say measured service, the cloud system automatically controlled and optimized the resource used by the leveraging a matter capabilities at some level of abstraction appropriate to the type of service. For example, is the storage also the processing, the bandwidth, and the active user's account. The resource usage can be monitored, controlled, and reported, providing transparency for both the provider and the consumer of the utilized service. The next part of cloud computing is the benefit. So, some may benefits of having a cloud computer nga gi-offer sa cloud computing. First is a reduced IT cost. Yes. The cloud services can be purchased based on the pay per use or subscription pricing. This reduces or eliminates the consumer's IT capital expenditure or the capex. The next is the business agility. Ang cloud computing ani nag-provides og capability to allocate and scale computing capacity quickly. This enables business to respond more quickly to market changes and reduce time to market. The third is the flexible scaling. So, the cloud computing enables consumers to scale up, scale down, and scale out or scale in the demand for computing resources easily. The consumer can unilaterally and automatically scale computing resources without any interaction with cloud service providers. The fourth is the high availability. The cloud has the capability to ensure resource availability to vary levels depending on the consumer policy and the priority. High availability have a redundant infrastructure components. The servers, the networks, the paths, and the storage equipment, along with cluster software, enables fault tolerance for cloud deployment. These techniques can encompass multiple data centers located in different geographic regions, which prevent data enable due to regional failures. So we have also the cloud service model. So the cloud service models offers are classified primarily into three models. First, the infrastructure as a service. The second is the platform as a service, and the third is software as a service. So when we say infrastructure as a service, the capability provided to the consumer is to provide provision, processing, storage, networks, and other fundamentals computing resource where the consumer is able to deploy and run arbitrary software, which can include the operating system and application. The second is the platform as a service. So this model is the capability provided to the consumer is to deploy onto the cloud infrastructure. Consumer created or acquired applications created using the programming languages, library, services, and tools supported by the provider. And the third is software as a service. The capability provided to the customer is to use the provider applications running on a cloud infrastructure. The applications are accessible from various clients, devices through either in a thin client interface such as a web browser, for example, is the web-based email or a program interface. So we have this figure 13 dash infrastructure, the platform and the software. So we see that in this figure that the A is the IaaS model or the infrastructure, which is the base layer of the cloud service task. It serves as the foundations for both the SaaS and the PaaS layers. So, for example, of this figure is the Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud or the Amazon EC2 is an example of the infrastructure that has provides scalable computed capacity on demand in the cloud. So in table B is the PaaS or the platform as a service. So in these figures, the PaaS is also used in applications development environment offered as a service by the cloud service provider. So in the C or the software as a service, in a SaaS model, the applications such as the customer relationship management or the email, the instant management are offered as service by the cloud service provider. So the cloud service providers exclusively manage and require the computing infrastructure and software to support the system. So the consumers may be allowed to change a few applications configuration settings to customize the application. So that's it. The next is the cloud deployment model. So in the cloud computing is classified also into four deployment models. The first is the public cloud. So public cloud, the cloud infrastructure is provisions for open use by the general public. It may be owned, managed, and operated by a business, academic, or government organization, or some combinations of them. We see in this figure that the public cloud public cloud services to organization and individual. So from public cloud, so makashare siya sa users, the enterprises Q, and the enterprises P. So public, when we say public is kanang bisag kinsa ang maka-connect, bisag kinsa ang kanang open or general public siya nga anyone can use this kanang cloud or these services. The next is a private cloud. Private cloud is the model is a model cloud infrastructure is provisioned for exclusive use by a single organization comprising multiple consumers. For example, business units. It may be owned, managed, and operated by the organization, a third party, or some combination of them, and it may be exist on or off premises. So, kanang in private cloud, we have two variations of private cloud model. First is a on-premise or this in the upper sections of this Figure 13, the on-premise private cloud, mo na siya. Then, in the bottom is the externally hosted private cloud. When we say on-premise private cloud, or also known as internal cloud, is hosted by an organization within its own data centers. So, this models enables organizations to standardize their cloud service management process and security. Although this model has limitation in terms of size on resources scalability. So in this bottom is the external hosted private cloud. When we say external, or the environment or the external of an organizations. So in this kanang variation, the it is managed by a third party organization. Nagmanage so ang nagmanage an externally hosted private cloud is the kanang third party organization. So the third party organization, siya nag-facilitate an exclusive cloud environment for a specific organization with full guarantee of privacy and confidentiality. So community cloud. So in a community cloud model, the cloud infrastructure is provision for exclusive use by a specific community of consumers from organizations that have shared. So in a community, figure 13, the cost spread over the fewer consumers than a public cloud. Hence, this option is more expensive but might offer a higher level of privacy, security, and compliance. The community cloud also offers organization access to a vast pool of resources compared to the cloud compared to the private and the public cloud. An example in which a community cloud could be useful in government agencies. If various agencies within the government operate under similar guidelines, they could all share the same infrastructure and lower the individual agencies' investments. Yes. For example, in that is the ang community cloud, ang user ani or ang providers of the resources is usara sila. For example, in kanang Alturas company. So, ang Alturas is na sila kanang may branch sa Talibon, na sa Ubay and Taglaran. So, ang community cloud is usara sila, which is nag-share sila og mga resources para ma-store. So, mag-cost ni siya og mahal-mahal kay dako man iyang ang kuan sakop. So the next is the hybrid cloud. A hybrid cloud models, the cloud infrastructure is a compositions of two or more distinct cloud infrastructure, the private, the community, or the public, that remains unique entities but are bound together by standardized or proprietary technology that enables data and application portability. For example, is a cloud bursting for load balancing between clouds. So, ang hybrid cloud is nag-compose na ni siya sa public, the private, and the community cloud. So, ano, kanipod nga hybrid cloud allows an organization to deploy less critical application and data to the public cloud, leveraging the scalability and the cost effectiveness of the public cloud. The organization mission critical application and data remains in a private cloud that provides greater security. Muna siya. For example, sa hybrid cloud, na ang public cloud, na ang community, na ang private. So, proceed. So, that's all my topic, and continue to Miss Jessamine Ibanez. That's all. Thank you. I'm Janine Turrigal Sabaton.